You ever wonder how a big, growing city actually keeps track of everything? I mean, from fixing roads to building new parks, managing hundreds of projects all at once seems like a crazy task. Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain and see exactly how one city, Shah Alam, is planning a huge digital upgrade that could totally change how it works from the inside out.
Every massive project starts somewhere, usually with a piece of paper. And this is it. This document right here, dated June 19th, 2023. Now, it might just look like some standard paperwork, but really, this is the blueprint for a major shift in how Shah Alam is going to build its future.
So here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll get into why they even need an upgrade in the first place. Then, we'll check out the digital solution they've come up with. After that, we'll dive into the nitty-gritty, the budget and the timeline. And finally, we'll talk about what the big payoff is supposed to be.
All right, first things first. We have to ask the question you should ask about any big project like this. If the old way of doing things isn't totally broken, why on earth would you spend all this time and money to fix it? Well, it turns out that just because something is working, that doesn't mean it's working well. For a city council that's juggling a million different things, the old manual ways can start to show some really serious cracks. And this right here gives you a snapshot of those cracks. I mean, put yourself in their shoes for a second. You're trying to manage all these complicated contract deadlines, deal with last-minute changes, and figure out which contractors are doing a good job and which ones, well, aren't. Without one central system, information gets stuck in different departments, and that just leads to delays and problems that end up affecting everyone.
So with all those headaches, what's the solution? It's a brand new digital system, and it's called the Sistem Pengurusan Project, which is just a straightforward way of saying project management system.
And this is not some vague pie-in-the-sky idea. The plan is incredibly specific. The official proposal actually lists out 16 different things this new system has to do. We're talking everything from creating the first project record all the way to managing contractor blacklists. It's a top-to-bottom digital overhaul. Okay, so what do those 16 points really mean for how things will work? Well, it boils down to four main things. First, it's about creating one single place for the truth, one dashboard where you can track every project. No more hunting around for information. Second, it's going to automate all the routine stuff, making things like change requests way faster. Third, it's going to keep a digital scorecard on contractors, which is huge for accountability. And finally, it's going to pull data from all over the city to create reports that actually show the whole picture. So, a big plan is one thing, but what's it actually going to cost? And how long is it going to take? Let's get into the numbers. The total budget for this whole thing comes in at 900,000 Malaysian ringgit. Now, in the grand scheme of a city's infrastructure budget, that's actually a pretty lean number. It really suggests they're aiming for a solution that's effective without breaking the bank. But it's still a serious investment that shows they mean business. And the timeline? Get this. Just 31 weeks, from the first day of research to having the whole thing up and running. For a government tech project, that is incredibly fast. It tells you they feel a real sense of urgency to get this system online and working. And that 31-week timeline isn't just one big rush. It's broken down really logically. You've got 4 weeks for the initial study, then the main development phase for 18 weeks, followed by a solid 7 weeks of testing to iron out all the bugs, and then a final 2 weeks to roll it out. It's a really structured plan designed to get it done right and fast.
Okay, so we've seen the problem, we've seen the solution, we've seen the price tag. But what's the end game? After all that work and money, what's the ultimate goal? Why does any of this really matter?
If you boil it all down, it comes back to this one single sentence from the project document. The whole point is to achieve systematic and efficient project management and monitoring. In other words, it's about moving away from a messy, paper-shuffling system to one that's smart, proactive, and streamlined. This slide is basically the before and after picture. The city is trying to move away from the world of manual tracking and scattered information, which, let's be honest, almost always leads to delays. And they're moving toward a future with systematic monitoring, integrated data, and just a huge boost in efficiency. And if you need one final summary of what they're hoping for, this quote from the document says it all. The goal is to increase the quality of project management and monitoring in the council. See, it's not just about doing things faster, it's about doing them better. So what's the real takeaway here? This whole story isn't just about one city getting some new software. It's a really cool glimpse into the future of how cities are run. It shows how places are using technology to become more efficient, more transparent, and at the end of the day, just better for the people who live there. And it kind of makes you wonder, right? How is technology shaping this city where you live?